All right, perfect. All right, so happy September, you guys. I don't know about you, but my team, we were so ready for August to be over, even though we had an amazing month. We had lots and lots of trials individually, but we ended the month strong and we were ready to go this month. So we are excited to get this Zoom started. And so Emily and I met on the VIP page. She was one of the first people that offered to do a Tips from the Top with us. And so we thought it would be a really cool idea to do kind of like a joint Tips from the Top, and then kind of talk about some things in September to get you guys started off super strong so we end the month strong. So I'm going to let Emily go ahead and just introduce herself. Let me unmute you. Oh, maybe there you go. Okay, so you're unmuted. I'm going to change it to speaker view real quick. And then, because all I see is, let's see. I'll just do it that way.
Can you see me?
I can see you, yeah. All right.
Okay, cool. Hi, guys. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I cannot agree with you more about my birthday is the 30th of August, and as much as I love my birthday month, I was ready for it to be done. Like, nobody really loved August for our side, so we're super excited for September. There's just something fun and exciting and new and fresh in the air, and it's like hope in a storm, right? And I don't know about y'all, but like summer, sometimes everybody gets busy and distracted and off doing summer things, vacations, all these things that you should be buckling down and having reasons to work. Everybody can and turn it the other way around and not really have those reasons, and instead go down and go and do the other stuff.
Baby.
Sorry, Emily, one sec. I had to mute everybody. Let me unmute you again. Or if you can unmute. Oh, no, I got you. Okay, sorry about that. I had to mute because somebody hopped on and it wasn't muted.
No, you're totally fine. Okay, so just for us, like September is for my tribe, like a really good way to reset. It's a great mind shift, right? Because this is the third quarter, you guys. Like, it's football season's coming up, so let's just go with sports analogies. My husband's big into sports and I hate them, but it's the third quarter, so everything that you do right now, day one, can projectile you through December into January and keep you going. Mark always talks about the momentum, and you playing that legendary song got me like super excited, making me feel like we were already at conference. And I'm like, yes, this is what it's about. So let me tell you a little questions that we already talked about. So my story, I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a mom with two boys, a 3.5-year-old and a 2-year-old in December. So before It Works, I've been in for almost 3.5 years. I was an ultrasound tech, and when I went on maternity leave for my oldest baby, the hospital I was working at, I was the only full-time person there. They decided that numbers were slow and they were going to let me go while on maternity leave. I didn't know that like they legally could do that. I thought I could like create a lawsuit and all this stuff because they felt the need that they could do that to me. However, being a brand new mom, I'm trying to focus on my kid. Now I have no income, and all the lawyers that I'm talking to say it's going to take tens of thousands of dollars to file a lawsuit. So it's a big corporation against a little bitty person. I don't have time for that. So me and my husband talked. He made really good money, and I decided to be a stay-at-home mom for 1 year. That was not my plan, y'all. So let me just say this, and I say this every single time. It's not about your plan, right? None of us came into this business being like, I want to be a rap girl. None of us said, that's what I want to be when I grow up, right? But it's not always about our plan. It's about the plan that is bigger than us. It's about the future and the creation of something more, even when we don't see that. So when you feel like this might not be for you, if you only knew the plan that was laid out in front of you, you wouldn't be able to handle it. So you have to take it step by step and day by day, because the creation that is here right now, that's what you have to focus on. And so I didn't know, right, that when I had the baby and I got fired and all this and being a stay-at-home mom, that wasn't my plan. But would I change it now for anything in the world? Absolutely not. So because of this business, I have promoted a triple diamond this year before our 3rd year mark, right? And I have 2 kids now that I get to be stay-at-home mom with. And, you know, because of this business, I get to put them in daycare 2 days a week and have me time, right? So these are all things that I never had to go and clock back into work after that 1 year mark, because I went diamond and I started making progress. And it's just when you decide that there's no plan B, right? When you get a taste of this and you see the possibility that can happen from this, you take quitting off the table. You hands down shut that idea down, and then you just explode from there. Because, you know, Cami and Mark, they all say it's 80% mind, 20% work, right? So if your mind is not in that right spot of, well, everybody told me I can't, so I'm going to prove them wrong, right? Versus, well, everybody told me I can't, so I might as well just give up now and I might as well quit. That's the determining factor. That is what makes it a make or break episode right there. So it's what you believe is going to come out of it. That's what's going to happen. So that's a little bit about my story. I'm totally going off on a tangent. I want to reel it back in, girl.
No, okay. I was just going to say, I literally love what you just said, because when we went to church this morning, the whole service is nothing just happens. Like, it doesn't just happen. Like, there's a bigger plan, there's a greater good. And it was like the story of Ruth, and everything you said just went with everything that we learned at church this morning. So,
oh, yay.
I
completely believe that. I completely believe that. I believe that, it's funny, but I have a tattoo on my shoulder right here, and it says angels walk among coincidences, right? Every single thing happens for a reason. The people that come into your life are either there to bless you or help you learn, right? And it doesn't mean that it's not for a season or a moment. Like, not everybody's meant to come into your life and stay in your life forever, because you don't always know the plan. But maybe that person's supposed to come into your life, just like this business, to help you advance to the next level for your own self. And so, y'all, like, I just want you to know that me and Melissa, we have been around the block for a minute with this company, and in September, it just has a feel about it. It's so exciting. It's a breath of fresh air. It's coming off of oxygen in a crazy storm. And, you know, you don't know in 10 days who you're going to meet, and you don't know at conference at green carpet what Mark's going to drop, but you have to go into this month with this expectation for more, with this abundance mindset of, like, you know, this year might have been good, but do you want it to be good or do you want it to be great, right? And it gets to be great if you say it's going to be great, because you are the person that gets to make it that way, right? And so my thing for September is we're getting organized, right? It's the first month that I'm able to put both kids in daycare, and you know, like, my life is a chaotic mess all the time because I'm tending to a less than 2-year-old most of the time. And I've built this entire business around naps and after bed. So when y'all tell me you don't have time, I'm going to call you out on your shit. Okay. Because you have the time, right? And let me just put it this way. If you really want your friend or your man or your mom to take you to go get your nails done or to buy you a new pair of shoes, you will take that time that you don't have to look it up online to find where the closest store is that has it, but you don't have time. So that time that you took to go and look that stuff up is the exact same amount of time that you can work this business. It does not have to be in set increments of an hour or 2 hours at a time. I work throughout the day all the time. And yes, after the babies go to bed, I still work for an hour to 2 hours. Now, that might be in so many different ways, but you guys, this is your life, right? This is why you join the business, is you want that freedom at the time, okay? So why would you not take the small amounts of time that you have to work to the greater possibility of having all the time to do it, right? Same thing that we just said, or I just said about the bigger plan. You don't know the bigger plan, but that's what you're working towards, is that bigger plan. So put your one foot in front of the other every single day and use the small increments of time that you do have right now, whatever it looks like, to make this business work. Because I bet you Melissa didn't know 5 years ago when she joined this business what it was going to do for her. I didn't know 3.5 years ago what this business was going to do for me. All I saw was a small amount. And all I saw was my husband telling me if I didn't go diamond by my 1 year mark, I would have to go back to work. So guess what? I worked like nothing else mattered. And I made those small moments happen. I used that time in a positive light to run with it. And so if you're finally sick and tired of someone else dictating your time, of not having enough money to do the things you want, or not being able to spend enough time with your children, then it's up to you to put your head down and use those small moments of time and run like a wildfire. Because I know there's lots of girls, and maybe even on Melissa's team, that have gone diamond in less than 90 days, that have gone double diamond in 3 to 4 months. Like, some people come in here and they go diamond in 2 weeks or 6 weeks. Like, it is all about the hustle, right? So there you go, Marissa. I am all about, you put your foot down and you claim what you want and you speak it out and you write it and you say it all day, every day. Affirmations all the way. That is what has gotten me to triple diamond. And I speak out what I want. If I want to sign 30 customers in a month, every single day, when I wake up in the morning, I'm signing a customer today. If I don't sign a customer today, me and one of my doubles, she won't go to the gym. That's like her reward for herself. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't get any candy or sweets, or I don't get to go to bed, so I better sign a customer or I'm going to be really grumpy, right? Consequences for yourself. If you're going for a goal and you don't hit it, then there's a consequence. So that pushes you to hit that goal that much farther. That pushes you to message those many people that much more. That it's no longer a hobby, right? You work it like an actual business. You hustle it like a business. And it's not just fun money. It's not just treating it like it's extra. It's your plan A. There is no more plan B, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back on track and I'm going to answer some of the questions so y'all can come in with me with your questions. So I think for me and Melissa, these are the ones that we talked about and we kind of touched on because we think it's really important for you guys. But I think that my biggest suggestion for starting September fresh, like whatever happened last month, whatever happened in the summer, let it go. The past is back there. You're going forward. Don't focus on it. You can't rank or whatever, a paycheck, whatever it is that you wanted and you didn't hit it. It's all right. Let it go. Shake the shit off. Keep going. Okay. Focus on the here and now. And what do you want to come from this? Break it down. I always tell my team, how do you eat an elephant? You eat them one bite at a time, right? So if you want to go diamond, or you want to go double, or you want to go triple, or whatever it is, if you want to make $2,000 more a month in the next 90 days, you have to start with that giant goal, and you got to break it down. Each month, what does that mean that you need? And then each week, what does that mean that you need? How many distributors do you need to sign? How many fast starts do you need to get? How many new people do you have to talk to every single day to be able to sign 2 customers a day or 3 customers a day? Whatever that big goal is that you're going for, whatever that increase in your paycheck or change in your lifestyle, whatever that is in your 90-day push, break it down in the next month to 2 months to 3 months. And then from those months, you have to split it down by the weeks. And then that way it's so much more attainable. And it's not this giant, intimidating thing, right? But it's something easy. It's talking to 10 to 15 people a day, right? 10 to 15 people a day over 7 days. That's how many? 70 to 100 people a day times 4. That's a lot of people in 1 month. If you just do the small amounts, if you just start small and keep going, and you don't get frustrated because you didn't do whatever you wanted to do in a week, but you keep going, because consistency over time turns into a giant snowball, right? And so that is the beauty of this business, is you work really, really hard, you get paid a little bit. You work really, really hard, you get paid a little bit more. You work really, really hard, you get paid a little bit more. You work really, really, really hard, and then the paycheck starts to come in, and it keeps going and going and going and going. That's momentum. That's what Mark always talks about. So y'all, it's third quarter. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to change? Get it down right now so that we can run and help you do that. But personal experience, I'm sure Melissa has the same thoughts. I'll let her tell you, I'm not doing it for you, right? I'm not going to do it for you. I will help you in every single aspect of it. I will game plan with you. I will pull a chart out with you. I will fill it out with you, and we will talk about stuff. I will help you with screenshots. I will help you do everything, but I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to hand it to you. I'm going to teach you so that you can go and teach other people, because nobody's ever done it for me. And I wouldn't appreciate it if somebody did, because why? That's free money. That's not hard work. That's not something that I value. And that's why it's so important for us to not just hand it to y'all, but to teach you how to do this. Because when we can teach you, you can turn around and teach others. And that's how success is built. Okay, let's see. How I stay motivated, that's something that I think is really important, because I'm not always this peppy. I'm peppy because we just came back from a staycation, okay, and I had time away from my kids. But most of the time I'm yelling and screaming and cussing at them because they're driving me crazy. I have food all in my hair, all the things. I completely believe in personal development. I did not do personal development for the first year and a half I was in this business. And I sat at Diamond for 18 months, right? Y'all, if you're not pouring into yourself every said about momentum, it doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes in the car. If it's a little 10-minute thing that you read on your phone, like those small moments of filling your mind and filling your spirit with uplifting positive things that help you open your mind to a bigger picture, right? That's what matters. Because if you have people coming at you from all different angles, asking questions, needing you all the time, you're going to get exhausted. You're going to become a shell. You won't have what you need to go to the next level, to be where you want to be when you want to be there. So I completely believe, I wake up now, it's been my third week in a row, but I listen to The Miracle Morning. It's a book. I did it on Audible, and he talks about how he wakes up super early in the morning, right? And my kids are early risers, and they drive me crazy to get that full hour of time, because they like to wake up at 6:30, 6:45. So I wake up before the sun ever even comes up. I make my coffee. Keto coffee. I usually do the pods because I can't even see out of one eye in the morning. I walk out there. Hey, Joy, would you do me a favor and mute yourself, please? Thank you. So I walk outside, and I am a big person about, I want to be surrounded by nature. So I sit outside and I listen to the morning before everything gets chaotic, right? And then I just kind of look up at the stars while I'm drinking coffee, and I say everything I'm God or to the universe, whoever you believe in. But I just pray, and I say everything I'm thankful for. And then I promised myself I would read these little plans that the Bible app has, and they're super short plans, but I will read they're meant to be in days, but I read them all together. So I'll read a 5-day one, and it just has something to think about. And then it has a verse out of the Bible, and then you can pick them on different topics. So you can pick them on fear or wisdom or courage or like faith, all these different things, but they're so short, and it just reaffirms like everything is meant for a reason, right? We always do the things without ever even knowing that they were planted in our life years ago, and now they it's just been really exciting reading those and being like, wait a minute, I remember a time when, and I can think back 5 to 10 years ago when something like that happened to me. And it was already planted in my mind that long ago. So I think that, you have to make time for you. Do I have time to sit there for an hour in the morning and do it? No, but guess what? I'm waking up earlier, right? I'm using the 24-hour block that we all have, and I'm cutting away something that maybe I don't need as much of, which is sleep. And, if I'm really exhausted, then I can nap when the kids nap, right? But it's how you start your day. And not every day is going to be perfect, y'all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you get to determine how you want this to go. You get to determine like who runs the show. And I don't know about you, but I want to be in charge of my life. I don't want life crapping on me and stomping all over me and me not being able to get back up because I'm to take the wheel, right? We always say, Jesus, take the wheel. Lord, please help us. But it's us that has to listen to that voice that's saying, go and do the work, because I'm here to reward you when you do. If we're just sitting here praying and asking and not doing the work, well, what is that? That does nothing. There's no excuse not to do the work that's placed before us. This can completely change y'all's lives if you just embrace it and you let go of any doubts and fears you have, because we've done it. Why can't y'all? So I hope that helps. Alyssa.
Yes, I love that. I was just thinking, I just wrote down faith without works is dead. So like you can have all the faith in the world, but if you don't put the work in, it's never going to happen. So, and then I loved your snowball analogy. I always like tell people it's a snowball, but I've never like put it into words just like you did. And I think that was perfect, because that's what network marketing is. You put a lot of work in the beginning, you don't get paid very much for it. But if you keep going, soon your checks become 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Like, it's a snowball. Once that snowball starts rolling, like there's no stopping that snowball. So I really liked everything that you had to say. And I also wrote down, people care more about where you're going, not where you've been. So like always being, putting yourself out there on like what your next goals are. And then Miracle Morning, I have read that book and it is really good. So if you guys haven't read Miracle Morning, it really lays out in different ways, like how important it is to start your day, like in peace, like by yourself. Like, Kelly said Emily said she goes outside. Like for me, I sit downstairs by my window and open up the window and listen to the waterfalls on the pool. So kind of like the same thing, right? So getting your mind right in the morning. Our team's huge on daily gratitude. We share gratitude every single day. So I love, love, love that.
Oh, I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that then.
Yeah, we do 3 things we're grateful for every single morning on our team page. So, and our team chats.
That's good, girl. Okay.
Yes,
So
Brian actually started that. My Double Diamond started that. So she's gotten us all on that gratitude train. So I like that.
Yeah.
Well,
because
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just going to say, like when you speak the gratitude, then it gives you what's the saying? Like gratitude means that what you have is enough. So it allows you to have more. If you're not grateful for what you have right then and there, how can you be grateful for the $10,000 paycheck you want?
Yes, I love that. I know you have to go, or have to not go, but kind of make sure your kids are okay. What is your, just real quick, like what is your number one customer signing tip and distributor signing tip?
Yeah. Okay. So I am big, like I told you about on the tips that I did on your team page. So you guys, I am huge for our whole team. Like every 2 weeks, I make them go through their Facebook Messenger or Instagram inbox and go back, because if you're talking to people on a consistent basis, you're going to lose people. right? So my biggest tip is go through your inbox and clean it out. If it's a hosted post that you sent a message to and they never accepted your friend request, delete them. If it's somebody you sent a happy birthday message to and they never responded to you, or you have never talked to them about the business, one, that's a perfect opportunity to restart the conversation, right? And then bring up the business to them when you're asking them, oh, well, what do you do? Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Whatever. When you start that conversation, or if they've never responded to you, put them in archive. And then you probably have customers in there that are waiting for you, right? Because it's the mindset. So your volume is in your inbox. It's in your inbox. You've already talked to those people. And if you haven't, and you're like, I don't have anything in my inbox, I've already cleaned it out, well, then go to your follow-up, because you're talking to people every single day. So don't let them fall off because you're not doing the follow-up work. Jade Hooper says all the time, most people stop following up after 3 contacts, right? 3 attempts, they quit following up. I have signed distributors and customers that I have messaged, and it's been number 25 on my follow-up, right? Because at some point now I'm just annoyed, and I'm going to make it a point that I'm going to follow up with you to annoy you as much as you're annoying me. So you can either tell me, yes, I want it, or no, I'm not interested anymore, but give me some sort of response. Otherwise I'm never going away. I'm just going to drive you crazy.
I just have to laugh at that because I'm sure that there's like.
So that's honestly like my biggest tip is, no, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, sorry, it keeps freezing on my end. I don't know if it's freezing for you guys, but I was just laughing thinking about my teammates that are on here that are like, oh yeah, she messaged me for like 2 years straight.
Yeah, because you guys, you cannot do all the work for everybody else just to have someone else come and reap your reward. Like if you are putting in the time to talk to them, to tell them about the products, to be plugged into them, to post something, you're the first one to comment on it. If you're doing all that work and then you just fall off, you just made it so easy for the next person, for me or Melissa to come along and sign them. And we didn't have to do anything because we just were posting consistently, and we gave them a compliment, and they're like, oh, you do, it works. Oh, some girl used to talk to me about that, but then she quit messaging me, right? So my biggest thing is, another tip that I have is I'm huge on when there is a birthday, I do not post on somebody's wall, happy birthday. I send them a message, right? I'm giant on sending them a message because it gets me standing apart from everybody else. And sometimes I wait until the following day and I send them a message and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I missed your birthday. I just want to tell you happy birthday. Sorry it's late, but I hope it's the thought that counts. I took the time to do that, right? To send them a message. Now I'm standing out in their minds. I'm like, this girl is a little bit different. Like she didn't just post on my wall and she told me a day later. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Then I go and like blow up their notifications with commenting and liking. So now I'm in their inbox and their algorithm. Somebody just asked a question. I'll read it to you. It's so easy, but I like try to make it really sweet. And I just say, hello, gorgeous. I saw it's someone's special day. Happy birthday. Hope you have an incredible day. It's filled with all the joys. Easy peasy. But it's like, it makes it about them and not just, hey, happy birthday. And so, you know, you guys, you just have to think of like how to stand out and how to be impactful without being like pushy, right? Because you can walk up to somebody and be like, hey, I'm with it. It works. Do you want to buy something from me? But would you talk to that person like that in real life? Probably not. So don't get in their box like that. Don't get in their messages that way. Unless they've approached you about it like that, you don't need to say it to them in the grocery store. Don't say it to them like that, right? But like you can totally get in their inbox and say like, hey, how you doing? I saw you were doing this, this, and this. Oh my gosh, your kids are so cute. Like, hey, where'd you get that dress? And start a conversation like you would at the grocery store, and then be like, whatever. And our team is huge on messaging. Like we say message, because I'm too impatient to sit and wait for somebody to come to me. Like, I don't like that. I'm not putting my business in other people's hands. I'm taking control, and I'm going to say, okay, if I have to talk to 10, 20 people a day, 100 people a day, whatever it is, then I'm going to do it. And if that means that I'm doing it all through social media, or if that means that I'm blitzing somebody at the grocery store, you guys, we went and had our staycation today. I like made friends with some guy, and he just and is 2-month-old, and he is a officer in the Air Force, and I got him to add her on my Facebook. Then I turned around and made friends with a lady that was there by herself on vacation. She's an accountant, and she asked me what I did, and I said, oh, I run a social media business online. She's like, oh, what is it? I'm like, have you ever heard of It Works? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, it's a health and wellness business. She's like, oh, tell me all about it. I was like, that's okay, girl. I'll accept your friend request, and you'll just see me posting about it. Because sometimes they don't need you to be pushy. Sometimes they need to do the digging themselves. If they're really into it that much, be a little bit elusive, right? Everybody wants what you have. You have to walk around saying, everybody wants what I got. And if you don't, then nobody's going to want what you got. So that's like my biggest tip. You speak it, you do the work, and you make the connections. So I hope that helps.
Yay, love that. I know we hold the golden ticket to helping so many people change their lives. And it is, once you embrace that and really truly understand that, that's when your business takes off. So yes, genuinely connecting. I know I just started I had 8 distributors sign up last month, and I actually had them all post that they joined or started their own business, but they didn't say what business, but they said why. And then they talked about the $10,000 bonus, and they got so many responses like on their first day. And I was like, elusive it is, like, like the more secret, the better, I guess, like, because then people will like really ask you questions. So, so Erin said, how would you incorporate It Works into a general conversation? Like you said, having a regular conversation at the store.
Okay. So, if it's somebody that you know, and you just run into them at the grocery store, or like depending on what that person is doing at the grocery store. If there's a lady standing in the hair care aisle looking at like hair, skin, and nail vitamins, I would just be like, hey, those are not very good for you, but I have some that you might like better. Like, if there's a mom, right? Like when I was picking my mom up from the airport this week, there was a mom with 2 little boys in the airport trying to pull like all this luggage. And I just walked up to her and asked her if she needed help. And she's like, oh, I'm just waiting on my husband. I'm like, okay, well, for mom to mom, I know that like sometimes we need a little help and support, and I'm always here to help you. So, if you can just go into it having that with those kind of conversations with people and not be afraid. Yeah, we all get nervous. Back my neck starts to sweat. My hands get sweaty. How beaded with sweat I am, but I'm still going to talk to you, because I never know if I am that beacon of light and hope placed in that person's life for a reason, or if they're placed in my life for a reason. I don't know, and neither do you until you make that connection with them. And we are like social beings, right? Even the most homebody person, we're social beings. We need to be surrounded by others. And if you can spread that niceness and that kindness and just embrace them and bring them in, you don't know if that woman that is standing in the hair aisle that needs that hair, skin, and nails is a recovering breast cancer patient. You don't know if, her husband just left her because whatever, and she's so stressed out that her hair's falling out. You don't know. And if you can help her feel better about herself because you said, hey, I have something that might be better for you and it's not filled with sugar, what could that do for her? She could be your next rock star distributor after she tries the hair, skin, and nails. You don't know if you don't ask, though. And don't think so much into it like you have to have a script. You just speak from your heart and speak from a good place, and then you're fine with it.
Yes, love it.
So I hope that helps.
Unscripted is always best. Like people on my team and other teams always ask me for my scripts, and I'm like, I don't have one. Like there's no specific script that I use for anything, just because it usually just comes out of whatever I'm thinking at the moment. But
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, so much. Okay, so April just asked, I just signed a distributor this evening. What advice would you give me?
Okay, that's easy. Okay, so April, I want you to, after this, tell her exactly why you joined, like what you joined for. What do you want this business to do for you? And then I want you to know that you're going to have opposition. You're going to be told no, but I want you to go for the no's, because every time somebody tells you no, that's one step closer to your dream. And I want you to look at, like, get some sort of book. There's the Go for No book. There's, you can read, I'm a baby banging on the wall. You can read about like Jim Carrey and Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Edison, and all the greats throughout the history of the world have been told no so many times. Look at Rachel Hollis, how many times her books were denied, right? There's so many people, the Wright brothers, when they were trying to build an airplane, how many times those planes crashed before they actually took off and had success. If they would have quit after the first failure, y'all, they wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be flying across. Look and listen to all those people that have overcome so many things and created such an impact in the world. And you need to know that whatever reason that you're going to tell her and whatever reason that you joined, that matters. And you better not stop for anybody or anything until you hit that dream, because those no's are going to come. But if you know that that's one step closer to achieving what it is that you want, then those no's are going to roll right off your shoulder, and they're not going to stab you in the heart the way that some no's can. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. It's intense. I know. I'm sorry.
Love it. No, I love it. Yeah. And it's always, the more no's you get, the easier they get. Once
Absolutely.
you get your thousandth no, maybe not even, maybe your 100th no, and then all of a sudden no's are like, next. Because no's just mean not now. But it usually just means not now, because they're not ready yet. But if they continue to follow you and you're continuously being consistent, those no's are going to turn into yeses, and then you're going to have your powerhouse team that you always dreamed of. So yeah, moral of the story, be consistent, genuine, and go for the no. I love that. Okay, so thank you so much for all of your tips. I want you to hang on if you can, but I know you have to probably run back and forth to like tend to the kids, and that's totally fine. Think in case anybody has any questions, I'm going to do go over a couple things real quick with everybody. I know I think we actually have 3 different teams on. 3 different teams on.
I'm just going to mute myself.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. We have 3 or 4 different teams on right now, and that's Emily's team, and then some of our September Push Rockstar team. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick backstory on myself, and then I'm going to talk about all things September and give you my tips as well. So we have the family call in 19 minutes. And from what I've heard, it's going to be incredible. And there's going to be 2 announcements. So we want to make sure that we're getting off right at 7 o'clock so we can all hop over onto the family call. So if you don't know me, my name is Melissa Dean. I'm a Triple Diamond. And I joined 4.5 years ago. I actually joined on Christmas Day and never heard of It Works, never heard of really anything about the company. I had a coworker who had just joined, and so she was selling skinny wraps, and she was slinging them left and right, and everybody wanted them. And I had 3 babies in 3 years, and when you have kids, things don't look the same. So I was a little bit intrigued by the skinny wraps. She approached me about the business, and I was like, girl, you're crazy. I was a district manager for Victoria's Secret. We were in our holiday season. 3 babies under 3, husband worked nights. Like, it never crossed my mind to do anything different. And I had worked in my career field for 18 years, and I had no desire to leave. I was making well over $100,000 a year. I was happy where I was at. But when my 3rd daughter was born, things were a lot harder for me to continue to go to work. So anyway, she had planted that little bug in my ear, and I logged on Christmas Day to buy wraps. And instead of buying wraps, I clicked join because it was only $40 more. and never really thought I was going to do anything with the business. Like Emily said, like nobody wakes up and says, I'm going to be a rock star rap girl, but you know what? God has a bigger plan, and his plan is amazing, and he never fails us. So looking back now, I wasn't even religious at all, but looking back now, I know that there was a greater path for me to be on, and I cannot have imagined like a better journey than what we've been on. So I joined on Christmas Day in 2014, which seems so long ago, but just like yesterday. And then I went diamond in March. So I didn't work the business for the first almost like month and a half because I was really busy with Christmas and my annual sale. I had all the excuses that I hear all the time. Like, I don't have time. Like, I made all those excuses in my head. But when the double good bonuses were announced at conference at the end of January, that they had offered us a $20,000 bonus. So in my head, I was like, yeah, $20,000, that'll pay for almost a year of daycare, because I live in California and daycare is expensive, and 3 kids we were paying, I think like it was over $2,000 a month. So I was like, okay, that's going to pay for daycare. That's going to help us financially. Carl maybe could work less overtime. And that's when I really started taking the business seriously. And I worked the business at 4:00 in the morning. I worked it at stop signs. I worked it on my 15-minute breaks. If I had them, I would, drink my food or eat it as fast as I could. And I would work the business the rest of the time. And as soon as the kids were in bed, I would work again. And I actually went diamond, mostly belly to belly. So I did wrap parties and basically wrapped my way to diamond. And I just did it through my friends, you guys. Like, I did my friends, my mom, my aunt, my cousin, and at every party I booked another party. And every party that I had, I signed several distributors at every single party and customers at every single party. I didn't have one wrap party where I didn't sign anybody at all. And so that's how I went diamond so quickly. And it was all with my warm market. But I do have to say, I basically built myself there. Like, there wasn't really anybody on my team that had caught the vision yet. And I think it's because we were brand new. My upline quit the week after I started. So I was learning and they were learning. We were all kind of learning together. And a lot of them were like, this is like too much work for me. Like, I'm not seeing the commissions for it. So same thing as Emily said, like, you have to put a lot of work in to get paid a little. But then, you know what? 6 weeks later, I went from a $29 paycheck my first month to over $2,000 my third month, and a $20,000 bonus. So it just depends on how bad you want it and how hard you're going to work for it. So, and how you prioritize your time. Like, just because you're on Facebook doesn't mean you're working. And we always say, like, stop scrolling, start enrolling. Like, being on Facebook for an hour and not messaging a single person, or building your network, or adding to your network, or messaging or commenting on people, growing relationships with them, then you're not doing anything that is network marketing related. So just be cognizant of what you're doing when you're on social media, because now a lot of people do basically just do social media. If you can do wrap parties, I highly, highly, highly recommend them. They're a lot of fun, and you will seal the deal almost every single time. So, okay, sorry. So I went diamond in March. Exactly the next year, a year later, I went double right after conference. So at the end of February, I went double. My husband and I, at that point, we had been in for a little over a year, and we had made $70,000 in bonuses. And so that's when he was like, okay, this is the real deal. Like, this could really get us far. It never crossed my mind that I would quit my job. We just didn't have the income stability to do that. And in California, you basically have to have a double income family. But I was still working, because I just kept thinking, maybe I can get him off the streets. Like, maybe I could start, paying off of our debt and all that stuff. So we were feeling really good in February. My February check was almost $5,000. And so that was comparable to what I was making working full time with Victoria's Secret. So fast forward to October, and I had a massive leg get recruited to a competing company, and lost over 200 distributors in an instant, and went from double diamond to ruby. So my check went from $5,000 to $462. And a lot of people would have just quit at that point. But for me, I don't know, like I'm one of those people where it's like, if somebody tells me I can't do something, like it makes me want to do it even harder. So I was like, oh, let's just watch. Like I'm going to be the comeback queen. And in hindsight, it was a blessing in disguise because I didn't have the right people on my team. I honestly wasn't a good leader at that time. I hadn't focused on, leadership. I mean, I have been in leadership for over 18 years with my business or my company that I was working for, but it's different when you're in network marketing, and I hadn't grown that leadership muscle yet. And so the team that left, it actually ended up being a blessing, and a lot of them came back. So when they were ready to come back and when I could handle a team of that size as a leader. So got back to Double. So October of 2016, I dropped to Ruby. I got back to Diamond in December. So this is like 2 full years. So Diamond to Diamond. So I basically was Diamond, Ruby, back to Diamond. And then in March of 2017, I went Double again. July 2017, I was Double, but I was making triple pay. And then I lost another big leg, and I dropped from being paid as a triple to barely getting paid as a Diamond. And this time around, I was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me, but I don't even think I've ever told my team this, but I got a phone call one day out of the blue from Pam Souter, the Queen of Wraps herself, called my cell phone. I have her cell phone number, and she just was like, I just want you to know how much we appreciate you, the corporate team. Like we know how hard this business is, and you've gone through so much in the 2.5 years that you've been with this business, 3 years, and we just want you to know, how important it is. And she let me cry on the phone with her for like an hour, you guys. Like she just poured into me. She talked to me about self-development. I had never done any self-development. And she basically said, we pray people in, we pray people out, and if they leave, it's okay, let them go. Don't burn the bridges. Welcome them back with grace when they want to come back, and open arms, and just lock arms and keep moving. And that's exactly what we did. And I was so fortunate that a lot of my team that left came back, but we all came back and came together in a time that it was right for all of us. And we went triple Diamond in March. So in December, I was barely a Diamond. I think I made $1,900. And in March, we went triple Diamond, and it was the most seamless promotion I've ever had in my entire life. Like everything just lined up. 8 people went to conference with me the year before, or not the year before. 8 people went to conference with me in December of 2018. All 8 of them went Diamond or Double within a couple of months. And my check went from under $2,000 in December to $25,000 in March. So when I say like, don't ever quit, like never quit the business, because you never know what's going to happen. And there's always a bigger plan than what we think. And if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be making, $25,000 a month, like I would have like selling health and wellness products on the internet, I would have told you were absolutely nuts. I would have been like, I don't know anything about that, but you know what? It's happened. And obviously that's a high paid, triple check, and things fluctuate, but it's just so crazy how quickly things can turn around when you have the faith and you have the consistency and you have the belief and you continue to work every single day. And you put yourself out there in such a positive manner and show gratitude, and you're going to have the right people that come into your life. And then, like I said, if they decide that they want to try something else, like give them grace, don't burn bridges, and welcome them back with open arms, and always be their friend, So that's my story. And we have 8 minutes left. So I'm going to talk about September real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys ask questions. So all things September. So these are my biggest tips for September. So if you have a pen and paper, write them down. If not, catch the replay. I will post it tonight. So the very first thing you want to do on the first day of every single month is you want to chart. So break out your chart, break out where you ended, like do one for where you ended last month, and then make one for where you want to be this month. If your goal is Diamond this month, you should not have a Ruby chart printed out. You should have a Diamond chart printed out. And that is your roadmap. So without vision, people perish. Like you need to know, how many DTs do I need to sign? How many 400 boxes do we need to fill? And you always want to have a goal that's a little bit higher than what's achievable, that you think is achievable, because when you achieve it, it's so much better. Like if I'm reading the 10X rule, and I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's like, if you make a goal to walk, a mile a day when you can run a mile a day, are you going to be happy with the fact that you walked a mile a day when you really could have been running a mile a day? Like you want to go, above and beyond, and then be happy with where you land. You want to end each month with no regrets at all. So you also want to project volume. So if you guys have eSuite, which everybody hopefully has their eSuite turned on, did you know you can actually download your future auto shipments to Excel and then auto sum them? So on the first day of every single month, you can see exactly how much volume you're projected to have at the end of the month. So we know that you have to have a minimum of 8,000 BV to hit diamond. So let's say Sally Joe wants to go diamond, and we go in and we export her auto shipments to Excel and do an auto sum. We can see exactly where she's at with numbers and then know exactly where she needs to go. So I'll screen share as quickly as I can. So let me know if you guys can see this. I'll show you which report. But I do this on the first of every single month, and I teach my leaders to do the same. Okay, so I'm actually going to log into my mom's account because it's not an account. Oops, it's not an account that's actually active. So I don't know why my eSuite keeps like kicking me out for some reason. Okay, so oops, that's not it. All right, so this is my mom's account, and oops, maybe not. I had it all pulled up, but of course it timed out. Shoot, okay. Oh, there we go. All right, so if you go to, can you guys see that? I can't see the chat. Emily, can you see my screen share? Okay, perfect. All right, so the first of every month, you want to go to reports. And then you go to additional reports. And it's this one right here, downline auto shipments. So click on that. And then it's going to bring up every single auto shipment from tomorrow on. So it already pulled today because we're already the first of the month, but unfortunately you can only do it the first day of the month. So, okay, so this is everything. So what you do is you just export to Excel, and sometimes you can't see when it goes to Excel. So let's see, can you guys see that? Okay, oopsie, wrong one. All right, that's the right one. Okay, so, JK, that's not the right one. Okay, so this is what shows up. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna look at the date columns. So this one says, okay, so last run date is here, okay, and then next run date is here. So you basically start with the last run date would be August 31st. So we're just gonna go August 31st, or what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna delete these 3 lines because these are from today. And again, this is my mom's account, so ignore all of the, okay. So then what you do is you go to today, and then this column right here is the BV column. So you just scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay, and then you just click auto sum at the top corner. So if my mom's account was active and she was working the business, she would have projected volume of 6,315 BV. And then you add that to what you already have today because your auto ships for the first already ran. So if you have 500 today already and your group volume, you add that to this number. And that's how you can project your volume. That's how you can see how far you are from the minimums. Obviously, you still have to have like 400 boxes and all that stuff. Oh no, it froze. Okay, well, it'll be up on the replay, and if not, I'll send Emily. I made like a 2-minute video on how to do it, so I'll send it to Emily. But that's like the first thing you want to do every single first of the month. And then second thing is you want to set goals above your reach, like I just said. You want to get uncomfortable, because the more uncomfortable you are, the more you will grow. And then you want to make sure you're reaching out to your key players. And then I just learned this tip, and I absolutely love this. It's work with your new DTs like they're the only ones on your team. Fresh fish jump first. So if you have somebody that just joined, you want to pour into them with the passion and the excitement that you had when you first joined. And you want to get them to Ruby and Diamond. And when you guys start building diamonds, that's when you go diamond, first of all, your paycheck opens up. But when you start building diamonds, every single diamond that you promote under you is a huge pay raise with our compensation plan. So you want to pour into those newbies. You never know which one is going to go diamond in 5 weeks, diamond in 4 weeks, Ruby in 9 days. You know what I mean? Like, so many things can happen. So pour into your new distributors. And then make sure you know exactly on your team who is eligible for the $10,000 bonus, and make a small chat with them and work with them every single day. Give them tips, because the people that are eligible for the bonuses are probably going to be the ones that are going to be your hardest workers once they understand how to get the bonus. And then obviously we want to make sure that everybody is getting their double fast starts from all of the distributors that they brought on the last week in August, because people want instant gratification. So if you can help people on your team get those fast starts, do that first. So we want to make sure that people get paid. So those are like my biggest tips for September. So do you guys have any questions for me? I know we just got the notification for the family call, and I didn't really get to tell you a whole lot, but that's okay. A lot of you guys know me already. So if you have questions, let me know. All right. And then I would just say, as far as like staying motivated, get on the family call tonight. Make sure your team's on the family call tonight. If you have not gotten your green carpet live stream tickets, get your green carpet live stream tickets. Have a party with your local team. I know I'm getting my local team together, and stay close to the fire this entire month. So they are going to be announcing amazing things at green carpet. And I wish I could go. This is my first one that I'm missing, but it's going to be awesome. So if you guys don't have any questions, thank you so much for hopping on. And like I said, I will send this replay to Emily today. And thank you, Emily, so much. Did you want to add anything before we hop off? I lost her on my picture. Oh, she might have hopped off already. All right, perfect. All right, guys, thank you. See you on the family call. Have a good one.